back into room 442. Albert, Mikey, James, Sarah, and it has been the second match day now for groups A and B. Lots going on today, but let's start off with Netherlands and Ecuador. What an exciting match this was. We saw Gakpo score his second, the young Dutch player, and then Enner Valencia tied the match for La Tri, and now he is the leader for the Golden Boot right now. James.
He scored the last 6 World Cup goals for Ecuador. The guy's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, he was carried off late in the game as well. Now, right at the death. So not sure how serious it is. Hopefully it's fine, because he's becoming one of the stories of the World Cup. Mm-hmm. These players emerging, as much as Gakpo is as well, young player coming through, brilliant goal again. Enner Valencia has been just sensational. And what journey he's had in his career, been around the world and back several times, and he's just being outstanding.
Almost
just a key.
to Toronto FC.
Was he?
Almost to Toronto FC. Apparently, there was a report that came out. I forget who it was off the top of my head that dropped it, but apparently they offered Enner Valencia to Toronto FC in exchange for Josie Altidore, a straight swap.
Oh, wow.
And TFC turned it down.
At what point in Josie's TFC
There
career
wasn't a
was this?
specific thing, but I'm guessing like 2019, 2018.
Don't you just feel like Enner Valencia would destroy the MLS? He just seems like the perfect striker there. Talk about playing really well. 15 goals in the Turkish league, by the way, this season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 33 years of age.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Something I want to bring up that you were talking about was that the first game for Ecuador was against Qatar, which you had kind of said, okay, that's everyone's bye game.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now they've played the hardest team in that group in
Yeah.
the Netherlands,
Yeah.
and they tied, and they should have won. If anyone watching this game would have said Ecuador was the better side. So what does that make you think about the Netherlands right now?
Yeah, I'm still continuing to doubt the Netherlands. I think after their first game, it wasn't a convincing victory. And you follow that up with another unconvincing performance now against Ecuador. And I can't believe I'm saying this, because I think we all picked Netherlands to be the team that easily qualifies out of this group, but they could potentially be in jeopardy if, for whatever reason, Qatar decides to show up in a way that we
So they're
haven't
not in
seen.
jeopardy, is what you're saying.
No.
Yeah, essentially they're not in
Netherlands
jeopardy.
We got to give a lot of credit to Ecuador. I mean,
Yeah.
heading into this matchup, 7 straight clean sheets. I mean, obviously the one coming against Qatar. Defensively, they're sound, and now they have a goal scorer up top. And look at Estupinian as well. I mean, they have really good players on that side. I don't see them not getting through this group. I know Senegal is going to be a tough matchup, but I have to give the edge to Ecuador at the moment.
And also a really great away kit.
Yes.
I love that
Yes.
thing. And for a commentator, like, the numbers pop so well on the back of those shirts.
That was you that was saying.
Yeah, it means, wow, I know that's number 9. I know it's number 9
Yeah.
because I can see it. Some of these shirts, you have no idea.
Yeah.
I
Right?
would like to say I'm the only one out of the 4 of us who had Ecuador going
is true.
through. Guys, let's look at...
How's your bets going, by the way? So,
Oh.
My bracket's looking good. My bets aren't. But hey, listen, you got to pick one. The other side of this table, we had Senegal and Qatar, where the Senegalese beat the Qataris 3-1 and sent Qatar just around the corner back home, I guess. Qatar is officially out, and now, I don't know, Senegal and Ecuador is looking to be one of the best matchups so far. Personally, both of these fans have been stunning. So I'm really excited to see this matchup, just to maybe see a full stadium with both fans going bananas. But Albert, what do you think about Senegal here just beating Qatar? Pretty standard?
Yeah, I mean, like Mike said, it's the bye game. I will say this, though. I think officially, Qatar isn't the worst team in this World Cup. That has to be given to Costa Rica. Qatar still look bad. A bit better. I mean, I think what happened in that first game especially, obviously Qatar is just not good enough. They're not up to this level, but the nerves played a huge factor. And I think they bounced back from that a little bit. But what we saw today is what Senegal, what they're capable of when they have a lot more possession, a lot more of the ball, which they probably will have against Ecuador as well. But that game's going to be so difficult. But in terms of what Senegal can do, if they can somehow find the scoring edge that they found this game against Ecuador, they're going to have a really good chance.
yeah, Ishmael Sarr, what a player.
Great
I
player.
mean, good World Cup so far. I think a lot of people will find out that Ecuador and Senegal aren't the same team as well pretty soon. Because these teams are pretty good, but don't know too much about them. Most peripheral viewers, Ecuador, Senegal. Oh yeah, they usually crash out in first rounds, right? Yeah, that's right.
No, that's not happening.
Not happening this time. I mean, they're really good. That's a meaningful match in the last round of games. Is fantastic.
Not to mention that Senegal are really doing well, considering the missing of Mane. Like it's almost
Yeah.
as if they've still been performing as if that was their full team and they're missing their best player. So, big shout out to them. I just want to reference the standings as it is right now. Sorry. I'm just delaying over here. Netherlands are still at the top with 4 points, tied with Ecuador with 4 points as well. Senegal just a point behind with 3, and Qatar, no points at the bottom. Match day 3 for Group A is going to be so exciting.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. But up next, guys, we'll be looking to Group B, James's favorite group. We'll be talking England, US, Wales, and Iran. Stay with us. Welcome back into room 442, guys, and let's break down Group B, the biggest match. There was so much going into this, England versus the USA. I'm looking to you, James, because this was a snoozer. This was another 0-0, the 5th 0-0 in this World Cup, which blows my mind. But really quick shouts to Mikey, who actually was the only one, I think, here that kind of backed the USA whatsoever.
He said they were going to win.
Yeah.
Right?
He did say they were going to win.
Come on.
Wait. Let me just say, though, the USA was the better side. They were the better side. So I will give you that, Mikey.
That may be the first one Sarah Ferrari has ever done.
And the last one.
And the last one. No, you know what? You got to give them credit. I didn't know if they would be the better side in this game, but they ended up being the better side. And I always mention, like, they have this, it's either they hit or they miss, right? And when they hit, they're good, like they showed today. When they miss, they could be really bad, like that second half against Wales, who, isn't doing anything great to raise their stock here in this tournament. So, yeah, the U.S. men's national team put in a legitimate performance, actually got an important point heading into this final match. So we'll see if they can build off this momentum. It comes down to match day 3 for the United States, and they're still in it, which is, a good sign of what should be and what is a competitive group.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was saying, I agree with you. They were brilliant. They've had 3 good halves now out of 4 at this World Cup. Maybe better than we've seen in qualifying, for example. So they're a team that's making the move. They're evolving under Greg Berhalter finally. As for England, I mean, that's the most World Cup-y performance I've seen England for a while. Mm-hmm. That's what they do traditionally against these kind of teams. They were so lackadaisical. They were so, lethargic it seemed. They were losing the 50-50s. The tactics to begin with seemed to be very, very conservative against a team that you should beat. Where was the urgency that we saw against Iran? Really frustrating. And where is Phil Foden? A player that can unlock defenses. I know he brought on late in the game the Grealishes and the Marcus Rashfords. I guess fair enough. But Phil Foden, who looked pretty good when he came on in the first game, maybe he's injured. Maybe he's lost down the couch cushions. I don't know where he is. But that's a great opportunity to put that kind of player in there. And Gareth Southgate, who I defend, didn't do it. And in the end, you get a point, and a point's a point. It's a long World Cup. Mm-hmm. They'll probably still progress from this group. But really frustrating to watch. But
it's not as easy as that, though, right? They're going to play Wales, and we talked about this off air. As poor as Wales have been, they probably put together a solid 45 minutes in one match, and that was against the USA. They were horrible. We'll get to that game. But now you're going to go play against Wales. Wales, that's already a rivalry. Now it's a do or die for Wales. And England, I know they just need a point, but based on that performance, it's not going to be so easy for them.
Did Harry Kane look?
No, he looked like he was at 60%. And what I don't understand, too, about the Phil Foden thing, if you think about it, the best manager in the world plays Phil Foden week in and week out, and he can't get into the national team. It makes no sense to me. Unless Foden was at a Qatari nightclub, maybe with Jack Grealish.
Beyond the realms of possibility, right?
No, seriously.
Eric Ten Hag doesn't manage Phil
Foden.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Mikey.
So far, he slipped in a United reference and an MLS.
Yeah.
You're up here, right? Sarah had you here. Now.
No, but okay, well, let's talk about Southgate, though, for a bit, because I know, like you said, you defend him. I've seen little things that make me not trust him, and it's things like this where he's, maybe not making the right subs, maybe not picking the right penalty takers. These mistakes, though, I think can cost England. And maybe today, a tie, like you said, a point is good against the US, but down the line, they get out of this group and they go up against, Mikey, a bigger side. This England isn't going to beat the likes of, I don't know, maybe a Spain, maybe a Portugal, Brazil right now, even France. What is Southgate going to do to try and, I don't know, bring this team back? Because today I didn't trust him.
It's so funny that we're talking about this after England's first performance. They look like...
When we're saying They could win the whole thing.
They could win the whole thing. And right, even heading into this tournament, I think a lot of people are overlooking England as a team that can make a serious run. And you know what I was saying? This is England, and James can speak to this better than anyone else. Going through group stages at the World Cup, England always find a way to make it interesting. Now, of course, it sets up a matchup I don't think we've ever seen. I mean, I can't go back to, 1966 when Wales was last in the World Cup?
58 that was.
58 when Wales was last in the World Cup. We've never seen them match
They met
up.
a Euro, right?
That is true.
Yeah.
So there's a rematch. There's a match of great magnitude. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a big test, actually, I think. For England.
There's not one England fan out there comfortable playing Wales. I can guarantee you that, because Wales, they hate it. And when two British teams go head to head, strange things often do happen, right? It does come down to that intangible blood and guts, heart, which the modern football analytic hates, but it is something. And in those kind of games, it's nervous. So, of course, England should win that game. Wales have been unimpressive so far, but I'm not comfortable. Put it that way.
You talked about, England's first performance against Iran. Now let's talk about Iran, though, because they looked like a completely different side as well in their second match against Wales. This was the Iran we saw qualifying for the World Cup. They beat Wales 2-0, and this game had it all. We saw the red card for your favorite keeper, Wayne Hennessey. And after that, Iran was able to capitalize on having that one-man advantage. A beautiful goal by Chesney, and then we also saw Reza Ain scoring another. You could see how much this meant to that team. But I think the takeaway here is that Iran do look threatening. And it's definitely not the team that, England saw. Now they have to go face the U.S. And Group B is wide open, guys. We have England in first place with 4, Iran behind them with 3, USA behind them with 2, and then Wales with 1. Match day 3 is going to be bonkerinos.
Yeah, you cannot dismiss Iran. They totally deserve that result. And it's not only because they played so well, especially going forward. The Welsh had a lot to do with that too. Aaron Ramsey in the midfield was, he was like a 1 out of 10 today. He left Ampadu out to dry constantly, and then left the back 3 out to dry, which led to those goals. I mean, obviously being up a man is huge, but those goals could have came much earlier in the game.
Sardar Azmoun should have had
He looked really sharp, right? He came in with an injury.
He's been out for a long time at Leverkusen, right? Rob Page said post-match, he said the red card didn't affect it. They were the better team before then and after then, and we let ourselves down. Wales have been a really disappointment so far in this World Cup. Let's not get ourselves. Gareth Bale, the great Gareth Bale, has been invisible. He hasn't played much this year. It's hard to put too much on him. He's done so much for that country. But, man, they need a big performance in that last game to get some respect back.
It's going to be really exciting to see. Yeah, Wales and England, USA and Iran. But, guys, really quick, a little Canada news, a little John Herdman news.
A little John Herdman. Well,
according to Croatia.
According to Croatia, yes.
Little Johnny.
Just so you know, that's not John Herdman.
Yeah, so...
Whose body is that?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what we saw this
made
morning
some money out of that.
on social media. But this was the
me.
picture. John Herdman's face posted on a naked man. Yeah, just it's all a lot. James, is this a little? Is that? I can't.
There we go.
All right, I can't
right
with
there.
you. All right, Albert, I'm gonna go to you.
Yeah.
Is this a little crude? Are you offended at all, or is this just the fun of the game?
No, I love this.
Yeah.
I mean, people are saying this is just some tabloid. It's not. This is one of the most distributed papers, daily papers in Croatia. They know exactly what they're doing. But touching on Herdman's comments, I kind of thought, I love it. I mean, we're a hockey culture here. We kind of love these things. And I love rivalries. And I think it's good for sport, especially football. And if you're Canada, you want to make a name for yourself. But let the players do that on the pitch. I don't think John Herdman needed to say that. I don't mind it, but you didn't need to say it. But now you have to back up what you said. If you're going to talk that talk, make sure you go on the pitch and prove yourself. And what they could have done here, sorry, James, is almost awaken the beast in Croatia, who wasn't good in that first match, and the beast in the middle in Luka Modric. I mean, maybe it doesn't mean that much to the players, but it could backfire.
Don't you think, though, this may have been Herdman embracing his inner Fergie, just a distraction strategy?
Yeah.
When John Herdman talks, he doesn't just talk for the sake of it. He's got a plan.
Yeah.
He's that smart. A lot of talk about Fonzie and the penalty and certain performances, and that was a great performance. Is this, do you think, perhaps him just kind of distracting our attention away from the reality and just, let's put it on me. I'll take the pressure off you boys.
Yeah. Well, he had the opportunity to pour water all over that fire, and he almost doubled down on his comments. I mean, he acknowledged that it would be disrespectful to Croatia, and he understands why that's the case, but he's just trying to fire his team up. So you know what? Maybe that is a little bit of John Herdman playing chess here and trying to take the pressure off his team, who didn't find a way to get the 3 points against Belgium.
Sorry, Mikey, could it also be, though, the fact that, like, yeah, it's quite the image, but we're seeing Canada, you know, being thrown into a huge Croatian paper, like you said, Albert.
Yeah.
Is this showing that, you know, they're kind of realizing Canada's a threat? They're going after them in any which way possible.
That's such a great question and such a great point. I totally agree with that. Like, I think, James, you tweeted this out from the 442 account that this could be the moment that we're talking about Canada really being taken seriously as a football nation. Hey, this happens.
Yeah, this is what football nations do, right? This isn't Canada or Croatia. This is what tabloid press in football nations do. This stupidity is amazing. And now they're doing it, and we're the focal point of it. We should be embracing naked John Herdman right now.
All right, well, you heard it here first. James said we should be embracing
still wanna know
a
whose
naked
body
John
that is.
Herdman. Up next, guys, Fast Money Football, where we give you a little pick for tomorrow's matches. So stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, guys, welcome to Fast Money Football, presented by Betano. We are going to give you a little bit of a sprinkle on tomorrow's matches. Up first, we have Poland and Saudi Arabia, James. What do you have going on there?
You know what? Recency bias, you can call it that if you like. I don't care. You know, the Saudis have put in the performance of the World Cup so far, just from what we expected and what they did against Argentina. The energy, the tenacity. They didn't give Argentina any time in the ball whatsoever. Meanwhile, Poland were lackadaisical. They were lethargic. They sat back. They didn't attack. Why not put some money on the Saudis in this match? The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, they need some money, right, over there. So put some money on them. I think the odds are very favorable at this point. So I'm all about that. I know I wouldn't have said that before the tournament began, but they were great in the first match.
Close to 4-1 odds. I don't mind it, man, honestly.
And honestly, Poland's performance in their first match doesn't make me want to...
Mexico should have won.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking about Mexico, Mikey, Mexico, Argentina, one of the biggest matches maybe ever, but for sure this weekend. What's your pick?
Yeah, there's so much riding at stake, I think, for both teams in this match, and especially Argentina, who dropped that game against Saudi Arabia and have a ton to play for. They need to come out and not just win the game, but I believe they need to make a statement in this one. And for me, who better to make that statement than Lionel Messi?
Olé.
His last World Cup.
What a soft pick, Mikey.
Hey, you know what? I need to get back in the win
This is
column.
a
You know,
gimme,
keep
feels
it
like,
going.
though.
We'll see. We'll
Right?
see. It's at plus 100, even money.
Yeah.
So Lionel Messi, listen, it's time to take over this World Cup. This is your World Cup, right? This is supposed to be Messi's moment. It starts now.
I like the
Love that.
energy. I like it a
The way you
lot.
put that, I think you chose.
Looking at Group D, I have the biggest game of tomorrow in Tunisia and Australia. We're all going to be up at 5 watching it.
Oh,
I
yeah,
know that.
absolutely.
But I have Tunisia on the money line because it's plus money, and they looked great in their first match. And honestly, Australia didn't. I know they went up against France early, but once they got scored on, they crumbled. Their defense was poor. I think this is a simple pick.
Yeah, it's such an important game, too. I think both these teams will look at it like this is our chance to pick up 3 points. I mean, Australia looked good for, 20 minutes?
Yeah, I don't make
Really
that much money.
good.
Until France was like, all right, we got to play here.
Jump on that one.
Yeah,
Tunisia's a good team.
I like Tunisia.
Yeah.
Jabali.
Yeah. And Albert, sorry, your favorite matchup.
Yes.
France and Denmark.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I know Mike's looking at me because he wants me to say Denmark to win.
Of course.
I'm going to bet that personally, but I thought I'd give out a bit of a safer pick because Denmark to beat France is obviously going to be very difficult to do, even though I think they can do it. They've done it twice already. Instead, I'm going to go with both teams to score. We know what that front four of France can do. They can score against any team, and I think they can score against Denmark. And as for Denmark, they've done it before against France. And this is an opportunity where you don't want to drop points, and I think they'll need to score a goal to stay in this game. So I'm going to go both teams to score at close to even money.
So you think Denmark's going to score not just one, but at least 2
Well,
goals?
to win the game, right? 2-1.
I was literally going to ask,
Yeah.
do you think Denmark's going to win
Yeah.
tomorrow?
I was actually looking at the Christian Eriksen anytime. It's almost 2-1 as well.
Ooh.
That's not bad.
You and your Danes, eh?
I loved it.
Wow. Got some Danish blood in there
No
somewhere.
Thomas Delaney. He's out for the tournament, which is really sad, but
What are you going to do if France wins?
cry. No, what am I gonna do? My bracket's completely done to friends.
New
I
bracket,
think a lot
new
of brackets
bracket.
done right
Oh,
now
my
on the
goodness,
potential
yeah.
of being smashed.
You know
But
what's
isn't that
funny,
great
though?
though?
Albert was
Yeah, it
telling
does.
me.
I mean,
You were telling me how you did like 4 different brackets. You're just gonna pull out another
Yeah.
one
No,
in
no,
your
I
back pocket and be
did
like,
I did the starting block one, and then the last one is in the studio.
And how's that one going? You had Saudi Arabia to beat Argentina.
Did anybody in here? No.
I don't
No
think
chance.
I don't
We
think
had
anyone in
Argentina.
the world had that.
No.
I
right.
think everyone in the world basically had Argentina-Brazil semifinal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Which
I had
that's
actually
tough.
had Brazil, England, but my bracket is also a little weird. I didn't have England finishing first in the group.
Which
Yeah.
is
Still a
more than
possibility,
possible, yeah.
right?
but,
Yeah.
but Argentina, Saudis, that's still the story so far, isn't it?
It has to be.
Yeah,
think.
I think the comparison to that Germany-Japan upset, I was like, that's not even close to the
Yeah.
same as Argentina losing to
It was a
South
big
Korea.
surprise, not a shock.
Yeah. no.
Whereas Saudis was a staggering
Yeah.
shock of
Yeah.
unknown
I think it probably is,
multitudes.
but I
Canada
think
was pretty close.
given that we live in the country, maybe we're not realizing just how big of a global story Canada has
True.
become.
Well, the Mexican coach today,
Yeah, Tata
Tata
Martino.
Martino, said best performance so far was Canada.
Yeah.
You know, it was like textbook 101 management. Like, wow.
No, that was great. We
High
love to
praise.
see it.
Yeah.
Canada is showing that we are a football nation,
We
guys.
belong.
Naked Herdman says so.
But that's it for us today, guys. Tomorrow we have several matches. We'll be back. We can't wait. Argentina, Mexico, Denmark, France. It's going to be bananas. But thanks so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.